In this video about peritoneal dialysis, we will look at the charting that is required in EPIC. If this is the first transfer that's been charted for this patient, you'll need to create a flow sheet. Go to Flow Sheets and type in peritoneal dialysis into the search bar. When a new window appears, click on the Facilities Preference List tab and choose Peritoneal Dialysis. You now have access to the peritoneal dialysis flow sheet. This flow sheet gives us an area to chart all about our fluid transfer. But what about a catheter assessment? Go to your LDA avatar and type in peritoneal. Choose the peritoneal dialysis catheter option. Identify the catheter location and fill out the appropriate information on the window to the right. In our flow sheet, we now have a catheter assessment section. With our flow sheet set up, we can now chart regarding our fluid transfer. The first field is exchange number, which is another term for fluid transfer. This is the total number of transfers the patient has had this day. So, if they've come in from home and they already completed a transfer at home before coming to the hospital, the first transfer in the hospital would be number 2 for today. The next field is dianneal solution, which is the type of dialysate that was used for this transfer, including the concentration and the size of the bag. Unless any medications had been added to the dialysate, you can skip over dianneal additives and antibiotics and move on to bag weight. Bag weight is the beginning weight of the dialysate bag. A 2,000 milliliter bag would weigh 2,000 grams. Next is input and output status. If everything went smoothly and you completed the transfer, both can be charted as completed. The next field is effluent appearance, which are your observations about the drainage fluid that you removed from the patient's abdomen. This field can include color, clarity, and the presence of any sediment that may have formed. Sediment frequently shows as fibrin strands, which are just thin, wispy strands of sediment floating in the dialysate drainage. Next is volume in, which is the amount of dialysate we put into the abdomen. If the bag was completed, then that will be a full 2,000 milliliters. Skip over dwell time. Dwell time is the amount of time that the fluid remained in the abdomen. This information can be found just by looking at the flow sheet and understanding how much time was in between each transfer. Effluent volume out is the amount of fluid that we removed from the abdomen, which is information we obtain by weighing the drainage bag. After inputting this volume, EPIC automatically calculates the balance this exchange. That's the difference between volume out and volume in. For this transfer, 300 additional milliliters of fluid were removed from the patient's abdomen compared to what was initially put in. You'll also need to chart regarding the catheter and site assessment. Once that is complete, your charting for this transfer is finished.